Hello there, and welcome to the Real Estate Note Investing Be the Bank broadcast. Today is Wednesday, November 12th, 2025. Today we're going to have Jamie Bateman, we're going to have Jay Redding, Dan Deppen, and Chris Seveney on the show today. Got a few things to talk about, and most of us came back from a note conference, and so we can give you some details on what we found out there. Stay tuned. Welcome back, my note investing friends. How's everybody?
Great.
Good.
Great,
Doing
good.
well.
Living the dream.
Too low energy, man. Let's start this over.
Don't say that to Chris.
No.
Get fired up, man.
Chris is going to turn into like Richard Simmons in the background and get all cheery.
So, I was thinking the Incredible Hulk, but Richard Simmons, Incredible Hulk, they're pretty equivalent.
If he turns green, we
Close.
better be careful.
All right, Chris, you want me to share this picture that you wanted to show?
Yeah, just before we were trying to share this. So, as we always talk case studies, we're going to talk about the individual as a case study of the year on today's episode. I don't know if I should start competing next year against him, but here would be one that I think could really, see how it ends up. So here's a picture of love for anybody who's watching to caption this. In the best caption, I will send you a Starbucks coffee gift card.
Boom.
Oh,
Wow.
and that is on your property, huh?
Soon to be my property.
Soon to be your property. That's your foreclosing on, huh?
Yes.
So is the $10 million question, how? How did this happen?
How or why?
Let's ask our aerospace engineer how this is possible.
I mean, you could brute force it up there if you wanted to, but why?
It's only a Jeep.
I'm not sure.
So the guy was a contractor. I actually think he built this as like a tree house and then took a crane and just craned it up there as part of like the tree house because it looks like there's a swing underneath it and a ladder up the side and another one. And someone's like, well, how would you get it down? I'm like, just get a chainsaw and start cutting some of those 2x8s and there you go.
Chainsaw works. It'll come.
It looks like a metal tetherball.
Yeah.
There in the
I'd
bottom.
be a little nervous playing tetherball under that Jeep.
Interestingly enough, though, this borrower filed bankruptcy the day before foreclosure, and as part where we were requesting an immediate hearing because we're noting that the property has, a lot of safety violations that are, life safety issues that we're throwing out there, including this and other things that are across this property to try and use that to see if the courts will basically grant us our emergency hearing and our expedited motion for relief to take this property back because of situations like this. I'll let you know what they say.
All right.
Be fun.
I'm also interested to know what it ultimately costs you to get all of this taken care of.
Yeah.
It's 13-acre property. So this is just, 200 square feet of 500,000 square feet of land. So
Okay, and the rest of it looks similar in some fashion.
so no, I mean it's got some unique components to it.
Okay.
Is anyone familiar with septic systems?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Grew
So-
up with one. I have one.
Okay. So how many bedrooms is your septic that you have? Do you know?
4.
Okay. Want to guess what this property has?
No clue. I'm guessing it's a lot more.
50.
Oh my gosh.
So they're going to turn it into like a wedding venue place. So there's a main house that's like 4,000 square feet and it's on 13 acres. It's actually in Austin, Texas. So it's
Okay.
literally Austin's getting croaked, but great location. And they were going to like build a wedding venue place, but he unfortunately passed away. And there's a lot more to the story that I want to spread all the cheer.
I'm gonna say, don't spoil it here.
Oh no, because this, I mean, the turns that this case study will get you. So I'm going after Jay next year on that case study of the year. So I'm saving it up. Jay. I'm coming after you.
We wouldn't be in the same category, okay? Because that's a non-performer.
So
Well, that leads us right into the champ there.
Oh,
Champ Jay Redding finally, after many years of presenting case studies up there and getting second place over and over again, finally takes home the mustard belt for the case study champion.
Chris can't handle someone else winning. Chris walked away.
I'm trying to find the trophy that I have that I can give to Jay as part of winning. We might just have to get him a belt, like get him a belt that case study year they can walk around wearing.
So now he's the hot dog eating champ and the case.
There you go.
Jay, do you have like the high level overview of the case study or?
Just real. It is essentially, it's a full note that we purchased in Texas, and we purchased it about a $13,000 discount from what the UPB was, and the borrower had paid 47 payments beforehand, and didn't put that much down payment, so a little weak in that respect, but 47 on-time payments helped to counterbalance that weakness. And the bottom line was we purchased it with a great discount, and then we were due 313 payments, and then it basically paid off after we had it for 8 months. We received 8 payments, so we had hypothecated it during that time, which is a fancy word for just essentially we pledged that performing note as collateral on a loan that we took from a private lender, and we took the arbitrage between the discount that we purchased at the interest rate of the note itself. The coupon rate was 13% on it, so there was a nice arbitrage in there of about a little over $300 a month. So we got that for 8 months. It paid off, and then when it paid off, we paid off our private lender. And we made $16,000 on $389 investment on the deal, because when we hypothecated it out, we took everything out except for the $389. So calculate, what the return is on that in 8 months for that type of investment. It's enough. But then, but the better part was with the private lender, we turned around and hypothecated again within 10 days and got his money working. So, and we got another $300, getting another $300 a month on this one as well. And his yield drag, which is nothing more than the amount of lost potential income that's taking place when his money's not working, was only 10 days. And so we kept his money working really well, and he's happy with it. And so it was a win-win all the way around.
Did you have your lender already lined up before you bought the note? Or did you buy the note with your money and then you
we buy the note? Yeah, we buy the note with our own capital. That's what we do. And we hold it on our line of credit. So we had a couple notes when this note paid off. We had a couple notes in inventory. We usually have 5 or 6 in inventory. It's what we try to have all the time. And so, yeah, we were just able to move him over just to another one and just kept right on going.
Jay, I just want you to know that I was the deciding vote for you to get first place.
Thank you so much, Justin.
I thought about the other person.
Yeah.
I can't do that to Jay. That's my boy. That's my
boy. There you go. So, no, on all seriousness, it truly is an honor, all right, from the standpoint that it's voted on by your peers. It's not Eddie or Joe or the note school staff that is actually selecting these. It is voted on by your peers. So grateful and thankful. I mean, I've been in the mix for a number of years, and just the fact that we finally We finally got it. I don't know. Maybe I got the sympathy vote, but that's okay too.
I thought you won it like 3 years ago.
No, I was a finalist for 4 years. I mean, one year I was in all three categories and still didn't win.
He
They're
was
like,
right.
This
He
guy
tried
won't
so
quit. We
hard.
got to make this guy go away somehow.
Yeah. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, you can't enter in next year. Sorry.
Okay, all right, I'll be out.
Well,
Well,
in all
congrats.
fairness, the case study that you won with is really no different than what you've done many times in the past over and over again. This is just like your way you
Bread
do
and
this.
butter.
You know?
Yeah, it's just our business model of what we
Yeah.
do. So I mean, we did that. We basically did that 28 times.
Yeah.
Since the last Node Expo. That's what
That could be a case study in itself.
That could be a
Yeah.
case study in and of itself. So
Yeah. Well, congratulations, Mr. Redding
you.
and Kyle.
and
had a little
Kyle,
bit to do with
definitely
it,
my
too.
son-in-law too. So
Yeah.
yes.
So what we're talking about, if you guys aren't familiar, is the conference that was right after Chris's conference, Paper Trail. This one was called Note Expo. It's traditionally like the first weekend or second weekend in November. And the main person that puts this on is Note School and Eddie Speed. And so he typically has, some keynote type speakers, some people that, aren't really in real estate that talk, and people that are in real estate that talk, and different subject matters and stuff. And I'll let Dan and Jay were there. Jamie and Chris couldn't make it. You guys can share your thoughts of what you thought about it. But I thought it went pretty well. I unfortunately wasn't in the room most of the time on the second day, but the first day I was in for the beginning part. So I saw a couple of the first speakers get up there. But the networking thing was pretty fun this year. So
It was.
I enjoyed it.
It was good. Dan, go ahead. I've been talking. Your turn.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't, nothing too earth shattering. I mean, I did kind of a similar thing to Justin. When I go to those events, unless it's something real specific, I'm usually not super into the presentations. I'm usually there more for the networking. So I usually end up talking like from, morning till night, like 2 days in a row. But, that was really good. Talked to, some people who are called the Underwriter clients. And there's another guy I bumped into randomly in the bathroom that I had been wanting to talk to. We didn't even know each other. Ended up like having lunch, having a whole hour.
You just never know where those networking events take place.
I know. That's my. I shouldn't give away.
Please tell me you didn't pass business cards next to each other at the urinal, right?
Why was that wrong? No.
Hey,
I'm just going to go on
Hey,
mute
here, I'm
right
gonna
now
pass it
because
over.
I'm going to say something that,
Mute Chris immediately. Mute Chris.
Oh man.
Oh, we
But
gotta
it was
let- we gotta let
good.
You
the cat
guys
fly.
missed it. I'll tell you. You guys really missed it.
Yeah. But
Dan
for
looked
me,
over
like,
and said, "Nice watch."
yeah, right.
Anyway, moving right along.
Yes.
But anyways, that was my Node Expo. Saw a lot of nice watches, but for me, I always end up like meeting people, and I usually like have business that comes out of that. Sometimes it's a few months later or whatever, but there were definitely a lot of really good conversations this year. So I feel like I'll ultimately get a lot out of it.
Yeah, I actually I enjoyed certainly some of the presentations. I really like Chris Widener's presentation, and from the standpoint of the topic was influence, and essentially being defined as the ability to change another person's thoughts, ideas, and actions. It's the levels of influence, and the greatest takeaway I got from that is that it's be, do, and have. And a couple of the questions that he asked you is certainly integrity is a critical factor of this. And it's the number one factor initially. You're not going to go get anywhere else with anyone, whether it is as a private lender, whether it is working with someone else as far as a counterparty, if there's not integrity and trust that's in that relationship. And part of that, it gets back to your morals and values and the things that I wrote down here. So do others believe and trust in you? Would I follow me? All right, myself. And the question to yourself, would I buy from me? All right. So looking at your own integrity. And then he talks about, optimism, being, are you an optimistic person, or are you one of these individuals that always come in? They're the Debbie Downers, they're the Eeyores of the world. That there's always something that's terrible that's going on, rather than looking for the upbeat potential possibilities, those types of things. And then servant leadership. All right, you're considering the other person's interests more important than yours in serving, being a leader and serving others is what you're basically doing. So I thought that was I know those, but it's really good to just be reminded of those, because it's core values. It gets back to core values, and you're working with people and core business principles that build a business, and that business becomes a reflection of who we are, who each one of us are. And I feel comfortable with, I will say, I feel comfortable with each of you that are on this call, that you guys all have integrity. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
So funny about integrity, because I think I spoke a month or two ago about, remember I mentioned that company that slipped in and was sending the payoffs to collect the money and all this stuff.
Yes.
So we're still, screwing around with that, but kind of the what comes around goes around type of thing.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I think many of you have heard of a company called Turak. Have you heard of who Turak is?
Yeah.
They're like the Blackstone of private lending. I mean, they're the monster of monsters of private lending. So, and they're out in New York, I think, as well. So I was online, and somebody posted it. They filed a lawsuit against this guy that was doing this. He did it to them 50 times in regards to selling the same loan to multiple people, collecting payoffs when they weren't his loan.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm sitting there and if I'm reading the lawsuit, and it's the same stuff this guy was telling us and so forth and so on. I mean, for us, we own the note. It's just a matter of now, we're basically foreclosing on the property, and title company is finally stepping in, hopefully to get it resolved. But I'm sitting there oh man, you went after Goliath, and you got what's coming to you now.
And they've got the funds to definitely go after him.
Yeah. So,
oh wow.
But it goes back to integrity of just do what you say you're gonna do, and we all make mistakes. Own up to the mistake, you make it.
I don't think that was a mistake in his case.
Oh no, that wasn't a mistake.
That was no mistake.
The other one in integrity was that company that had a $50 million line against their loans, and they're dumping all the loans into this line of credit, and they were second position mortgages, but somehow, voila, the title policies somehow had the first lien whited out on the policy to make it look like it was a first position lien. They all went belly up. The bank lost $50 million because all these seconds went belly up on a lender financing type, getting financing against your loan portfolio. Again, integrity, because that's not an honest mistake. That's somebody literally having to go say, I'm going to be fraudulent today and go do this.
Yep. So not worth it.
Nope. Unless you want to spend some time next to Bubba.
Like those striped suits.
Yep.
So a little bit of side skirting from what you're talking about there. So the FAA released some messages about cutting back flights right when we got out there to the Note Expo. We got out there Wednesday or Thursday last week. And so we're thinking oh my gosh, are we just going to have to stay here for a while or what? But
one of us did.
Yeah. One of us stayed there for a while.
Yeah, you got stuck. Didn't you, Jay? When did you guys get out?
I was going to ask everybody about what their flight experience was on the way home. So go ahead, Jay.
We were supposed to leave on Sunday night at 7. Okay. Our flight got delayed for a mechanical issue. All right. And then, so they brought another plane. All right. And then once they got the plane in there, the log book wasn't in the plane for the maintenance. So they were waiting on the maintenance to bring the log book in. And of course, the pilots timed out then for the day. So they didn't have to fly, and they couldn't find another flight crew. So we spent the night on Sunday night. Kyle and I had our wonderful beds on the ground in Dallas-Fort Worth Airport.
They didn't put you up at a hotel?
Oh, heavens no.
Oh, wow.
So, nope.
Didn't
do
you
that.
point to a spot, Jay, where you slept in that airport before? Like, did you
Yeah,
go to the same
yeah.
spot?
This has happened the last 2 times I have flown through Dallas. From Dallas, I have had to stay overnight in the airport.
Why didn't you
So-
point your finger in their face and say, "I am the case study champion"?
Yeah.
So
How you treat me?
anyhow, for us to get another flight back to Fort Wayne, for us, it would be the earliest flight we could get on was 7 p.m. on Monday, and it's like, oh, we're not doing
Oh, jeez.
So we were able to get on the 7:30 a.m. flight out of Dallas to Indianapolis. All right, so we did that, and then my wife drove 2.5 hours down to come and get us and pick us up, and got home at about 1:30, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So on Monday.
Wow.
So
Ugh.
that was our the other
Yeah.
time I had to fly up through Chicago during the middle of the night, and then caught the middle afternoon flight from Chicago to Fort Wayne. So I don't know that one really made much difference, but that was due
Jeez.
to a storm. That was a ground stop due to a storm. I could live with
Okay.
that one.
Yeah.
So
How was your experience, Dan?
Not too bad. I mean, we were delayed. I mean, we pushed the gate on time, but then it was about 30 minutes late taking off because they were, what were they? They said they only
Backed up.
had one runway open or they had a runway closed. And so we were just in line forever to taxi. And it was funny because we got close to takeoff. We went out and made a turn. And the pilot said, if you look to your left now, you can see like the line of planes we were in, and it was just massive. But at the end of the day, not that big of a deal. If it makes you feel any better, Jay, my Karen that I work with, she was in Las Vegas for Masters of Real Estate, and trying to get home, her flight got canceled 3 times. She was there
Oh my
for
gosh.
a while.
Wow.
Yeah.
My flight was before your guys's, so we got delayed initially by like 35 minutes because the crew that was supposed to fly our plane hadn't landed yet. But they went ahead and boarded us anyway so that we could like get in our seats, and we were just waiting on the pilot. And then the same thing, like with Dan, what you were saying, we were out on the taxi and it was just taking forever. I want to say it was like 35 or 40 minutes. It was a long time. I thought about texting you guys and saying, hey, just heads up. There's a traffic jam out here.
Yeah.
Go to the
But Jay,
bathroom while you can.
were you able to get in the lounge? More importantly.
Yes, actually we did.
Yeah.
Thank goodness Kyle does have access to the lounge, so we did go there and relax and eat. All right, in that respect, but it's only open from 5:30 to 10. So they
see, I was not, because we went then and got on the and it was like over an hour wait to get into what I was
gotcha.
trying to get into.
Okay.
So that never happened for us. But.
So
It almost makes it not worth it to have the access to the lounge if you can't get in there.
true.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Yeah.
Anyways.
See all the joys you guys missed.
Yeah.
Yeah, really jealous.
Yeah, you sound like it.
Yeah. Jamie had a party,
Yes, Jamie was
Literally.
having a party. How did your
Literally.
party go?
an all-day
Went-
party.
It went well. Fantasy football party, but
Yeah.
so would you say the I know you guys didn't attend all the talks, but like compared to last year's Node Expo or and changes in the industry or anything like that, any takeaways for the viewer?
I would say the blockchain technology is being pushed harder, and it's becoming more realistic than it was the year before.
Yes.
Okay.
Putting more seller financing notes into a blockchain type technology. So that's kind of interesting to hear where that's going and what that's going to look like. So who knows when it's going to really take effect? Could it be a couple months? Could it be a couple years? Could it be 10 years from now? I don't really know the answer, but
I think
it's
within
just
What about,
2 years.
interesting to
Turnout.
see how far it is.
Turn
When
out
you
for the
say,
event.
oh,
sorry.
I was
Well,
gonna
go
say, when
ahead.
you say like blockchain and the like seller finance, in which aspect, like the underwriting and stuff? Because I think there's a lot of avenues there it could be used, but once you get to like recording with the counties, that's like you might as well just go beat your head against the wall because you're never going to get a county to put something on blockchain.
Correct me if I'm wrong,
what it
Justin,
will
but
do.
weren't they? Yeah, but weren't they talking about like basically like subdividing notes, or they were talking about ways to open it up to retail investors and
Yeah, the idea is to treat it like a security where anyone can put in $100 or something towards the asset, and you can have 50 owners of one note.
Mm-hmm.
Package it up that way. That's really the ultimate idea of it. But yeah, they've got the tools now to kind of start the process, and they haven't. I don't think they've gone end to end with seller financing, but I think they've done a bunch of reverse mortgages already this way.
Yeah.
A bigger player has done that.
Yeah, I know, like Arrive Homes. Like I know companies that do it, because, as on like rental properties, where Arrive Homes, I think, is one. Yield Street, where you can go into a property and basically buy fractional, kind of in a blockchain type technology. Because I know they have similar Reg A offerings like we have, that they've got like a blockchain component to it. So
Where
just a
you
matter of
own-
time. So
own part of the equity in the property, right?
yeah, so it's essentially, I mean, again, I know enough to get myself in trouble, but then I'm like, okay, but I'm like, okay, if you go buy, if they issue 1,000 shares of a property and you go buy 10 shares, what's the difference between buying 10 shares and having it at a transfer agent like a stock does versus putting on a blockchain? That's kind of where I'm like, isn't the stock market kind of already on blockchain, I guess, or how, kind of that aspect. So it's definitely streamlined and so forth, but I also am, wondering like, okay, what's like, how much benefit is there? And I'm just saying this from somebody who's really naive and doesn't understand it from that perspective.
As I understand, it's basically notes are already traded on Wall Street, and there's less friction, less expense. All right, because of everything but there's nothing for the seller finance at all.
Yeah,
and
that is true. Yeah,
that is the niche that they're looking to get into, because it's like $400 billion niche, okay,
Yeah.
versus 30 trillion, or whatever, however many trillion is. I may be wrong on that, but
16.
16. Okay, 16 trillion. Okay, so what's a few trillion on?
16.7 to be more exact.
That's kind of how the government works. But anyhow, but that's the whole premise, is to be able to reduce that friction to make it smoother and to make it more efficient and then more cost effective.
They're eliminating all the handwork, like you just described, like going and recording with the counties and stuff. It's going to eliminate all that stuff to where it's just like it's done.
So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out.
Yeah, other than that, it's like traditional type of topics. You get insurance people up there talking about stuff and retirement accounts and different things like that. Yeah.
So
gotcha. Yeah, just curious of inventory coming out, or I guess. Oh,
that's a good point. Like NPLs.
Yeah, I guess the seller finance space is a little bit different, but.
It's not all about seller financing. It's just in general, like notes and stuff. So some of the guys that have bigger funds, they'll come there and they'll say their piece about what they hear from Wall Street. Everybody every year. This is just my humble opinion. They talk a big game about how NPLs are percolating and accumulating in the background, but it's just like I never see a purge or a release of something that's any significance. So
yeah, and I don't know why we would, right? Like if you follow like Calculated Risk blog, like what I like about that is they'll show historical data going back decades, and overall, like the deep, the foreclosure rate, the amount of distress has been relatively low for a while. So I think you would need some kind of significant event to see NPLs hit the market. I've been seeing a lot more seller finance inventory, but I don't know that that's so much that there's necessarily like a net increase in the market, or just by virtue of what I do, originating loans, my network keeps expanding. And so, I just see more over time. So
one thing that I thought that I found rather interesting was the information that Melody Wright was sharing, particularly on the default of credit card default and auto default. Those are rising, and my question, kind of the question to myself, is okay, is this kind of the canary in the coal mine scenario? Whereas this the first cracks that we're really starting to see, it clearly demonstrating stress that's in the overall economy. I just don't know which way the overall economy is going, to be honest, at this point.
Yeah. to Dan's point, foreclosures are at like all-time lows, but on the same token, there's still 250, 300 billion dollars of NPL loans floating out there. Like, who's an uptick is like, uptick for us versus a true uptick are two completely different things, because I don't think any of us are buying like even 1/1000% of that on the books. And so from that standpoint, but I also like where the economy's headed. I follow John Burns as well as Calculated Risk, and they just came out with the thing about, job growth and how job growth is going in metro areas. And, for the economy, I put blinders on to the media and kind of look at kind of what's really going on. It's like, okay, incomes are going up by like 2%. Taxes are going up by 5%. Health insurance is going up by 20%. Homeowners insurance is going up by 10%. And most people are living paycheck to paycheck.
Right.
Probably going to be some, and like you
There's
said,
gonna be some stress.
Credit cards are getting maxed out, going into default. People are not paying their cars, which used to be the thing they pay more than their mortgage, but more people work remote now. But reality is the economy isn't, I don't believe, getting better. It's probably getting worse, which on the NPL side usually means more opportunity.
Yeah. There's clearly stress in the economy right now. I mean, I see it just people that are in our rentals. Okay. We've seen it in some of our notes. People who are paying very consistently. Now they'll be a little late a couple months, and then they'll get caught back up. Those just some of the telltale signs of overall stress that we're seeing in I'll say in our portfolio, including the rentals as well as the notes themselves. So,
Jamie, what's going on in your world?
I was going to say, I mean, people are driving Jeeps up into trees. That's how bad it's gotten. Just kidding. Yeah, I've been a little more plugged into the HUD HECM space. I've mentioned this before, but I do think that's an opportunity on the NPL side, because for a few reasons. I mean, you've got a lot of baby boomers who are dying off, for one, and the future of that is, that's going to continue.
It's going to get larger. There's no question about that. The front end is there right now.
Yeah, and that's one thing I like about real estate is it's generally pretty slow moving, right? To kind of see what's coming. Can't predict everything, but that's not going to go away. And so HUD puts out these offerings several times a year. The ones that we're mostly targeting are vacant properties where the borrowers are deceased, and typically they're underwater. So it's all about the property value. But we've gotten more involved in that, and we're also doing more asset management for other investors as well. So that's just more on the kind of my business side of things. I mean, quite honestly, my pain point has been raising capital. And so it hasn't, I mean, deal flow is a limiting factor, but it's not the biggest limiting factor. So if I had more capital, then I could buy more notes. So
go find more inventory.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's always something that's the limiting factor, but that's pretty much, I mean, I guess to answer your question more directly, we've pivoted as far as what we're buying. We're pivoting a little bit toward those HUD HECM deals on the NPL side. And we still have our reperforming income fund, which is largely performing/reperforming notes as well. So not a lot of change overall. I mean, I keep getting reminded of how small this space really is. Kind of like you were alluding to, Justin, about a lot of people, I don't know, talk a big game or something about, inventory coming out or all these things. Not saying everybody's blowing smoke, but at the end of the day, there aren't that many in our space. There aren't that many people who really buy at scale. It's a small space that we're in, I guess, is the takeaway.
Chris, what's going on in your world?
Oh boy. Besides Jamie having me drive cars up trees. So we are closing our Reg A offering on the 21st. So SEC requires a 3-year kind of sunset. So we're gearing up with that, kind of, I've been assisting on some of the investor relations side to get some of these investors in last second. And of course, Mercury retrograde started on Sunday, which I'd never heard of until I met my wife, but means like everything glitches. And of course, our investor portal where people can go invest, basically like all of a sudden, like the self-directed IRA component's like, oh, it's not there. And it's like, so, all of our, we use Appfolio for storing all of our data. That's fine. But the button where it goes like to invest and send the money in. So we're back to like old school of almost, well, we got it fixing today, but prior to that, we're like old school of, you're like, yep, we'll DocuSign a subscription agreement type thing. So, so that's been such a pain in the rear. But outside of that, on the note side, we've gotten over the last 2 weeks 11 deed in lieu's from borrowers. Actually, nope, now we're up to 12. Sorry, like 12 deed in lieu's. The tree one, they filed bankruptcy, so we didn't, have any foreclosure there. But also like 4 modifications done. It's just been like a whirlwind of activity of getting people to kind of get stuff done. And what we've realized is, and I recorded a podcast on this, is like the servicers like reaches out and so forth. And again, servicers do their job.
Right.
But we've started also adding another layer to reaching out to the borrower and saying like, hey, look, you got until this date to decide, and give them a hard deadline. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, like you hit that hard deadline and all of a sudden people are like, okay, like here we go. So like all these deed in lieu's have been sitting around, and then we finally told them like, look, if we have to foreclose on them, there's any money left, you had the option to give this back. We'll go after you for a deficient, we'll consider it a deficiency. And all of a sudden, once they realize that and the foreclosure is not on their record, they're like, oh, okay, now I'm finally like forced to do something, and they do.
Path of least pain.
Yep.
It works.
Defer.
Yeah.
Procrastinate.
Sometimes the hammer just needs to come down to get their attention and wake them up. So, yeah, I hear you.
Coincidentally, I had 3 fully foreclosed properties in October. It was kind of weird how they all kind of aligned at the same time. It was actually the last half of October. So I had to scramble and work with insurance companies to get my REO insurance.
No.
I got denied on an insurance claim.
Oh, you did?
So I'll share the story real quick. Foreclosed on a property, took it back. We had before pictures of, and then these people leave. This place had brand new kitchen in it. It had, basically the floors of, newer floors. There was one room that the person before was letting the tenant, because it was actually as a rental, let the tenant paint this one room. So we take it back, trash everywhere. They took a hammer and just went up and down the walls across the entire house, putting holes in. Okay. They like ripped out the kitchen sink, all this stuff. So we file an insurance claim. Gets rejected because they're like, oh, this is construction. This isn't vandalism. And like, they carefully remove the sink is what the adjuster said. So we're now in the process, and I've never been through this before, and I probably should have done this from the start, getting a public adjuster involved or getting an attorney to basically threaten them that we'll go, we'll fight this claim because they're probably thinking we're just going to go away. But I mean, hey, look, I know there's certain things that in their sign, oh, there's a crack in the foundation. They're saying, oh, maintenance, you didn't take care of the property. I'm like, a crack in the foundation. I agree. That's not an insurance claim. Somebody taking a hammer and putting 500 hammer holes across the walls, that's a little different.
Yeah.
That's a little different.
Wow.
Yeah. Justin, I had something similar. We sent out 3 demand letters here in the last month, and 2 of the 3 have caught up and have fully instated. So the third one, we're probably going to have to do something with that one. So we'll see.
Nice.
Yeah. So
I've got a foreclosure.
Kind of a whirlwind coming in.
Yeah, I had one that just completed this week. The gavel came down, so I have an REO in South Carolina. And then I've got another hearing on one in Michigan in about 12 days. So
I had a borrower message me some words that I can't, say on this. That would be all these bleeps. Now, here's a funny story behind this. Is borrower loan was maturing at like the beginning of the year, gave him a 3-month extension, and kept telling them, you got to sell this property. You can't afford, you can't afford the payments and all this other stuff. And borrower basically, he had like, it's several units of this property, and he renovated a portion of them, didn't finish like some of them. So he's not getting like the full rent on the property. He's finished like 2 of the 4 units. And so he's got like one of them rented, try and get another one. The other 2, you can't rent. So he's trying to refinance and keeps saying he's trying to refinance. And he paid for another like 6-month extension. We gave it to him, and then he defaulted like halfway in between. Now he's in maturity, and it's it's an interest-only loan that just keeps chomping. And all of a sudden, over the last 6 months, the amount of interest that has accrued on this thing is pretty expensive. And all of a sudden, he finally realizes, like, because we send him a statement every month, and he just never looks at them. All of a sudden, he looks at the statement, and the loan went from like, $400,000 up to like, now it's like $470,000 just with interest penalty and all the fees. And he's like flipping out, basically saying like, oh, this is what you do. You basically jack up this rates, and like the interest should cap out at some point, no. And I told the guy, I'm like, look, I told you a year ago, sell this thing. You think you've got all this equity in this thing that you don't. You can't, you're cash negative on this thing. You can't afford it. So now you're stuck. And now he's like, so we filed foreclosure on the guy, and he's claiming now he's got a term sheet from like the 14th lender that he's tried to finance this thing, but nobody's touching it because the guy's basically, he has no money to pay anybody back that gets him a loan. Even if there is equity in the property, which he probably does have like 10 to 20% equity, but nobody's going to give you anything at more than 70% loan to value. So I'm like, sell it, or hey, look, the fees keep accruing. It's like, shame on you. So,
right.
Yeah.
Those are the documents he signed, right?
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
the exact, let's see if I can, let's see, kind of PG. This is how you fire truck people over, right? You force them to get upside down, and then offer deed and lose so you get all the upside. Hell of a business model.
Well, then sell the property. He like
Exactly. You gave him a heads up of what was going on. He chose to ignore you. Yeah, people just want to put their head in the sand. Yeah. So. All right, I got something I want you guys' opinion on that's coming in. Okay. All experienced investors. I have a borrower who has been her I don't know if it's husband. Anyhow, there's 2 of them that's on the loan. All right. They've been good payers for a while. They have separated. Both are on the deed. Okay. And the lady has 3 children, and we have served them the demand letter. I don't think she makes enough to be able to afford the payment. There is equity in the home. All right. She could sell, even in the condition that it's in. She could sell and probably make some money out of it, or they could, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't heard a thing from him. She has been communicated to the servicer. Mm-hmm. How would you handle it?
They're not paying.
They have not paid.
How much is the payment?
Pardon? Payment is about $700 a month. They can't rent for that. They can't rent for that.
And also, just to clarify, it sounds like you're not sure if they're getting divorced or not. Because that
don't know. I know they are separated. I know that for a fact. That's all I know.
That could play into it.
Yeah, well, absolutely, it could.
Yeah.
What's the house worth, and what do they owe?
They owe around 60,000, and it's probably 90,000, 80 to 90,000 is current condition. They may owe a little less than 60,000. I'm ballparking it right now. I haven't looked at it. Just Chris wants to buy it.
Fastball offer.
Now,
That's too small a deal for him.
now I would offer them, they've been paying for a while, and before this they were pretty good.
They've been good payers up to sometimes a little late, but they've always paid. Okay. And the reason I bring this up, and I bring this up for the viewers, like these are the dilemmas that oftentimes that we're dealing with, and how's the best way to try to handle it to help the borrower. So that's why I'm bringing this up.
There's no playbook that says here's what you do.
Exactly.
It's the gray area of the
note
guru's
investment.
not it's not just post it on social media and see if you can get an investor to buy it. And put a few emojis and say we buy notes direct from sellers.
Yeah.
We use our own money too.
Yeah.
We are direct.
Direct.
Don't go around. We are direct.
Yeah.
So I got my idea, but I'll let other people go first.
Okay. Jamie, I'm going to put you on the spot.
I guess I just want to research a little bit more to understand if, are they getting divorced? If so, is he going to pay child support or alimony or anything?
She did not get, this is what I do know, she did not get any support at first. They've separated. Supposedly he is now paying her, and she has communicated to the servicer wanting to know if we would take a partial payment. She could, because she cannot pay the full amount herself.
How much is she behind? Do you know?
She is behind. Well, she's 90 days behind. So there's 3 months. She's coming up on 120.
I mean, I guess what I would do is I would find out from her what she
wants
thinks
to
she
do.
can afford.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, from there you can do the math and see if there's an option to restructure or anything you can do.
I mean, you can also defer payments. Sorry, Dan.
Sure.
Yeah.
No, I could. I've thought of all of those so far. I'm just curious if any of you is bringing up anything else.
But if they go dark on you, like if there's not active communications and they're not paying, then I would just send the demand to force the.
Well, the demand's already
force
sent.
them to figure it out.
It's already been
okay.
sent. Okay, it's already been sent, and that's when she contacted us, and the demand runs out though end of this week.
Well, if they haven't come to you with some options or information, I just continue on with the complaint.
That's kind of the way I'm feeling right now.
Yeah, I mean,
Justin,
the ball's in their court. It's not like
it
they won't
is.
pick up the phone.
Yeah, if they're not communicating, then you didn't have a chance to do a deed in lieu and to figure out how to help them out. So you've done your part, and until they come up with a solution, I mean, you can't even help them get a financial hardship qualification for a local aid or whatnot.
Aid or anything. Yeah.
So nothing you really can do except continue on. With
Going down the path
with legal action until they have a conversation with you.
Yep, going down the path. Chris. All right, the guru and NPLs, because that's the way this one's going.
I'm not the guru. I'm just I come up with crazy ideas.
The experience
I'd offer them
one.
2 things.
Okay.
Is what I'd offer them. A deed in lieu with a check for like $8 to $10 grand, because that would make a difference in their lives. $1,000 or $2,000 wouldn't do anything. $8 to $10 grand. I'm guessing that your basis is less than the 60 that the note is. Then you get a property that it's at 90. Even if it was at 60, you'd still get some of that equity upside. That again, that value could. So it's a win-win where they walk away with 10 grand, go start something, get an apartment, rent, and try and figure something out there. Option 1 there. Option 2 that I would also consider is if they're willing to work with you, put them on a trial payment plan for maybe 12 to 15 months where you drop that payment and maybe just have it go to interest plus a little bit of principal. And then if they work through that, then give them that 12 months or whatever. Then after 12 months, it's going to go back to the normal loan amount, but you just amortize it, extend the loan out or going forward to give them a little bit of breathing room to figure out what child support, let her get set back up in her life, because she just had kind of her life most people,
Turned
your
upside
life
down.
gets turned upside down. I mean, I know a bunch of us on this call have gone through that. It flips you upside down mentally, financially. Hey, I'll give you 12 months, 8 months, 15 months to kind of work through some things. And then after that time, hey, look, you got to have your together, because then it's going to go back up to that amount. If you can't make it through this trial payment plan, I've already got the demand letter. I just turn it back on. I don't have to start over. And then you would go after that foreclosure process at that point in time. So
Is this
two
your
things that
money,
pop in my head.
or is this hypothecated?
This is hypothecated.
Yeah, so you need to take care of your guy first.
Oh yeah, we've got reserves. Take care of that.
Well, you have reserve for 6-7 months.
Yep.
We're
What
good.
state is this in?
I've done that. I'm doing one of those now. That's my foreclosure hearing. That's in
Yeah.
12
So
days.
no,
Yeah, that's
we
good.
can absorb that. So
Okay.
Chris, you're right. I mean, we're into this 50,000. I think around that's where we're at.
What
So,
state?
What state is it in?
Michigan.
Oh, so that's a quick foreclosure state too.
It is a quick foreclosure state. So
There is
I
the
am
redemption
hesitant-
period too.
Right.
yes, I am hesitant to pull. I am hesitant to play the hard card. Okay.
Mhm.
And the reason being because they have been consistent payers. All right. So it's like, all right, I'm willing to give a whole lot more forgiveness here to work with them, see if we can get her through this rough spot. But she's got to be totally honest with me. And I think I'll have her probably submit a hard case, all right, for a mod or something along that line, so we can actually get a true idea of what she's making to see if a mod is even a possibility.
I don't think she can afford it.
I have a feeling
unless she
you're
can
right,
get on a
Justin.
job. She's unfortunately she's hosed.
Yeah, that is my concern, and I don't want to string this out too long, which
Well,
could harm her.
that's why I was leaning toward
Yeah.
deferring maybe 2 months,
Yeah.
because I don't know. I understand the idea of lowering the payment for 12 to 18 months, but then she gets used to that payment, and
Yeah. Well,
to
you
me,
could go
I
12
get
months
I get
and then
impatient.
make it permanent. You could do a trial mod for 12 months and then make it permanent. If she's able to do that, we'll just we'll just move the private lender. We'll just move him over to another loan. That won't be.
I have had success in deferring like 2 months payments. Just she's caught up.
Put it on the back.
Yeah.
But I don't think, my gut is she can't pay.
Can't afford it.
She can't.
Right,
handle
but
it.
that's
Just
where it
her
plays
income.
into, like, is he going to pay child
Is he
support?
gonna pay?
You know
That's
what I
gonna be
mean?
the big
And
question.
she can afford it. Also, one thing to note, and this is probably state specific, but some states have. I'm pretty sure Maryland has a new law where you're almost obligated to keep the loan. I'm not an attorney, obviously, but in the case of divorce, there's more protections now for the borrower who gets divorced. I don't know Michigan laws, but
Well, our attorney would know that.
yeah.
Once
That's
we
why I was
find
asking about the divorce side. 'cause I
Once we
think he
find
could
out
go-
all the facts on that. But yeah, Michigan's pretty fast.
Yeah.
It's a pretty fast foreclosure state, and you've got the redemption time, but I don't think she'll have time. She'll be able to have time to redeem.
One thing to also consider, and we've seen this a lot more recently too, is they can pull the bankruptcy card.
True.
And what
That would
we've
be
also
my expectation. That would be my expectation.
and what we've seen in the last 3 bankruptcies we've had filed, and the courts have approved these, which blows my mind, is the first 12 months. So I have a loan that has a $3,000 a month payment, along with the arrears are another $2,500 a month.
5,500.
$5,500 a month. Do you know what the bankruptcy court approved for the first 12 months of payments?
How much?
1,000?
Like $700.
Oh my gosh.
It's not even enough to cover the taxes and insurance.
Wow.
And then they're supposed to make it all up over the next
Make
4
it all
years.
up over the next, and you know what's going to happen?
That ain't going to happen.
12 months is going to come, and they're going to file for another amendment and try and get the payment done again. It's like,
That's idiotic.
it blows my mind, because all it's doing is there's equity in the property too, and all it's doing is stripping the equity out from these people's minds. And my concern in this one, if she can't afford it, well, if she's got the money, but it's just credit card debt and everything else, then bankruptcy may help. But a lot of times they file knowing I can't afford it, and it just buys them another 8 to 10 months and just continues to tack on all the fees to the point of, hey, look, you should have taken the 10 grand when I could have given it to you.
Exactly.
Because now you're basically chewed it all up in interest, which they get to live in the property for free. But now when it sells, there's nothing left for you.
Nothing left for them. And if it's short,
Yep.
you've got the ability to go after them for the shortage then as well.
Yep.
This sounds like another case study. Let's see how this pans out for you.
So
If we can help them out.
Hey, I'm working on it for next year already, Chris. So I'll run with you.
Hey,
26 and 27.
I've got one where they're using ChatGPT as their attorney to go against our attorney, and it is
Makes sense.
hilarious.
I heard you talking about
my
that
God.
in your podcast.
Yeah.
But I guess the
They're
other thing
responding to you with
too-
emojis.
Yeah.
A lot of M dashes, but no, they're referencing
Yeah,
laws
exactly.
that don't even exist. Like,
Yeah.
Do they
Don't
include
don't
the
take your
blurb?
advice from ChatGPT for law, okay?
Do they include a blurb at the bottom? Would you like me to turn this into and digest it? PDF?
so here's the funny part to this. Okay, so the property actually, the taxes got sold, at tax sale. Okay.
Okay.
And and it's in Georgia. So they bid, so the taxes got sold, long story behind this, but taxes say it got sold for like 200 grand and taxes were 50,000. So it's $150,000 overage, which would come to us as a first position lender. Now to redeem those taxes, there's like there's a penalty. So the buyer of the taxes gets like a 15% based on what he bid. So this borrower keeps thinking that, there's $150,000 in overage. You're like, yeah, so I just got $150,000 off my mortgage. And we're like, well, we get that money, but then we got to take that money and go pay this other person back the 150 plus the 50 plus another 20. We got to go pay them back all this other money. She thinks like it's free money to them and can't fathom like somebody's actually got to go pay this person who gave the money for the taxes. She's just thinking like, oh, my $750,000 loan is now $600,000. Like, actually, no, your $750,000 loan is now like $850,000 because after we redeem everything, and it's not registering with her because she keeps thinking like, oh, it's my. Then she filed also with the courts to or somebody did to try and get the money, and it's like, why did you file? So they think we think it's them because they made the comment, oh, we're going to file because it's our money. And it's like, no, it's not your money. It goes to the lien holder. But
so they didn't pay the taxes and someone basically paid it for them, but they think they're going to just get that money.
Yeah.
Yes. They think the overage just goes to them and the taxes now are all paid off. Like, somebody bought it and I just get the money for free.
It goes to the first lien holder, which is you after the taxes.
All right, we're going to have to wrap up this broadcast today, fellas. I have one outro question for everybody.
Oh, okay.
You don't have to answer if you don't want to. Doesn't matter who wants to go first or just shout it out. But who has been or currently is your most favorite sports person?
Joe Flacco.
Alive or overall?
Just either. Yeah. Who do you think in your mind is like your most favorite sports person? Doesn't matter what sport it is.
I just meant right now.
Yeah, one that comes off the top of the head.
For me, I guess Jokic
and say the
comes off
sport
the top
in
of
case
my
somebody
head.
doesn't know.
Yeah, basketball. Jokic.
Deion Sanders.
Nice. For baseball or football?
Football.
Coaching.
Coaching.
I was going to say, wow. I mean, you got all three there.
Yeah. Did you say one, Jamie?
I said Joe Flacco when you said.
Oh, that's right. Are you serious?
I'd say Michael Jordan overall.
I was going to say Michael Jordan in basketball and Peyton Manning in football.
Yeah, pick one.
Peyton
Manning. I'm actually, and Chris will like this. I'm picking Dustin Pedroia.
Yeah, gritty. Yep.
Yeah, Petey.
It's funny. I didn't pick a Boston guy, being the guy who's a diehard Boston fan. I mean, Larry Bird as a kid was absolutely like him, and then, so, and Ray Bork, who was with the Bruins for 20 plus years, of course, like everyone's going to say Brady anyways, because I mean, the guy just, rained parades down in Boston. So, Big Poppy, same thing, as well. But but for me, growing up, I was like, Dion was like the guy who, when I was in high school and stuff, is like, he was just, yep.
Well,
Did you have the posters?
I had actually the only football jersey I ever had was his Atlanta Falcon one. And my son this year just started finally following football, and I just ordered him he loved, and this was before this past weekend, like 5 weeks ago, Travian Henderson, the running back for the Patriots. Mm-hmm. So we ordered him one of the what do they call them? The jerseys, they've got like a light gray blue on the Patriots, the rivalry jerseys. So I got one, and he's all excited because we're going to go up to the Baltimore when they play the Ravens. We're going up to that game, and it's his first game, and he's all excited.
Well, Ramondre Stevenson is hurt, so he might be playing more now.
Oh yeah, I mean, just had 150 yards last week and broke 2 50-yarders. So,
but speaking of Patriots,
are playing pretty well right now. So
Gronk says that Joe Flacco should be in the Hall of Fame. I'm just saying.
Is that what Gronk says? Oh, okay. Well, I won't be using Gronk.
Joe Flacco has played well for
Rob Gronkowski.
Is that the tennis pickleball Hall of Fame, or which Hall of Fame?
There you go.
We're talking pickleball.
Pickleball. There we go.
Anyway.
All right, fellas. We're out of time for today. Yeah. Thanks for hopping on. It's always a pleasure. And we will see everybody next month. It'll be the last one of the year.
Yeah. Wow.
See you guys in December.
See ya.
All right.